Representative Nicole Collier was one of the Texas Democrats who left the state to stop the Republicans from gerrymandering. They left the state to protect democracy. I question why they came back. They could have stayed in Chicago or wherever they went. They had the support of the other states, but I guess they had some leverage now because California is about to counteract Texas, and we have other states looking to do so as well. If this is how they want to play the game, other states should play it that way too. So I guess they felt it was safer to go back now because it didn't matter. Well, that was a mistake because as soon as they got back, the shenanigans started. So now Republicans are trying to make these Texas Democrat representatives sign permission slips to have police officers follow them around everywhere they go, just to make sure they don't leave again. Well, one of them, Nicole Collier, said, absolutely not. That is an invasion of my privacy. And she's absolutely right. So guess what they did? They are now stopping her from leaving the House floor. They are blocking her from leaving the Capitol until she signs the paper. In short, they're holding her hostage. They're holding her hostage. Is this what we're doing now? Is this what you call good politics? Holding people hostage to get your way? If you had to hold someone hostage to get your way, you're terrible at your job. You should not be governing anything. And they know it's wrong. The thing is, who's going to stop them? Who do we have in place to stop them from acting this way? No one can hold them accountable, so they're going to be the worst possible versions of themselves. Karma's coming for them. Every single one. And when it comes, it's going to be so sweet. Because how they treat people like Nicole Collier, they better pray there isn't a God. Because there ain't a place in heaven left for them after all of this. They are testing to see how nasty, how mean, how cruel they can be to people like us. For simply trying to protect our democracy. They don't care anymore. And I hope you see that. Pray for Nicole. Hopefully she's okay by the end of this. Stay hopeful. Trust your gut. And always know you're not crazy.
Republicans have now kidnapped a Democratic state rep here in the state of Texas because they want to push through a fascist agenda. So Texas, Paul, hope your coffee's as good as mine. Hell, I hope it's better. This is really happening. Rep Nicole Collier is locked in the Capitol building. They won't let her leave. They said that Democrats have to sign a consent form to have a Texas Department of Public Safety officer follow them around everywhere they go. Yeah. In order to leave, they had to sign that consent form. What this is all about, folks, is, the Democrats broke quorum. Well, the only thing that they can do, they always say, well, we're going to have them arrested. Well, you can't, there's no criminal charges you can file. It's a civil matter. If they have a Texas Department of Public Safety officer there and they break quorum, they can that officer will arrest them and bring them back to the Capitol. Yeah, that's what this is all about. Nicole Collier, who's got the biggest set of balls of any Democrat in the state of Texas right now, he said, "Screw you! I'm not signing it. You can't tell me I can't leave. That's kidnapping." And that's exactly what they're doing. They're not letting her leave unless she signs that form. Folks, that's what the Russians did in the gulags. Sign this and we will let you out. Folks, this is who the Republicans are. And I have to tell you just how stupid this is. Folks, Democratic reps make about $7,200 a year here in the state of Texas. That's it. So they've got to hold full-time jobs. This whole breaking quorum thing wasn't going to last because Greg Abbott will spend as much as our Texas money as he doesn't care how much he spends calling special session after special session after special session. He doesn't care. But these Democratic reps, they can only break quorum for so long. They've got bills to pay, jobs to go to. I mean, this was a huge personal expense for these people to break quorum and flee the state. This wasn't free. And eventually the Republicans were going to win because these people were going to have to come home eventually. But by doing this, this is how stupid these Republicans are. They were so impatient, such little babies, that they're going to use our state troopers. Basically, that's what DPS here in Texas, our state troopers, to show their fascism.
So the Texas state government has decided to hold a woman hostage because she won't sign a little permission slip. And it's not just a woman. Of course, it is a black woman. This was calculated. This was deliberate. This is not how democracy works. You do not get locked within a state building, within a government building, because you are not signing a permission slip or because you're not agreeing to do things exactly the way the other party wants you to. This is not fucking democracy. If you live near the Texas Capitol building and you're able to get there, please go there. Please protest. Please demand that Nicole Collier is released and freed. At this point, they're just seeing what the fuck they can get away with. And while you may not agree with Gavin Newsom and you may not want him to be our next president, he is matching energy, and that is exactly what the fuck we need right now. We do not need any more who are going to stand by the sidelines and watch this bullshit happen. We need politicians who are going to get in there and actively fight against this. I mean, I've got a few days until class starts. I'm about to hop in the ride and take the 14-hour trip down to Texas. This shit is getting so unhinged.
So I'm supposed to understand that Texas Republicans are now holding a black woman lawmaker hostage in the House chambers? Yeah, that's what's happening to Representative Nicole Collier. She refused to sign some absurd permission slip like she's a child, authorizing the police to detain her if she leaves the floor. And because she won't play along with their stunt, they've essentially locked her in. A sitting elected official, a black woman, being told she can't leave unless she agrees to be followed or arrested. This is what happens in Texas when you use legal recourse to push back on racist power grabs. This isn't democracy, it's intimidation, and it's targeted. They're not even trying to hide it anymore. Just know, this is the cost when you stand your ground as a black woman in a system that was never built for us. And if you're okay with that, you're part of the problem.
Hey, to everybody who says they love freedom, are you aware of what's going on in Texas right now? Democratic House Representative Nicole Collier is being held hostage in her place of work because she refused to sign a document that said she agreed to be surveilled and followed by law enforcement for 3 weeks. She said, no, I'm not doing that because that's authoritarian. And now they won't let her leave. This is not a bodyguard to protect her safety, mind you. This is surveillance to ensure that she returns to work. Because, you know, she was part of the Democratic representatives from Texas who were breaking quorum in order to avoid voting for these very racist gerrymandered new maps that's trying to magically create new Republican seats in the state. So when they returned to work yesterday, they were told by House Speaker that they had to sign permission slips granting permission to law enforcement to follow them and surveil them. Follow them home and keep an eye on them to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do. And remember, those arrest warrants that were put out for these individuals were not criminal arrest warrants. They broke no law. I know y'all struggle with the difference between like actual crimes and, civil offenses. But if you claim to be about freedom and autonomy, right? The government not being bigger than the individuals. You don't like big government. If that's who you claim to be, can you really sit here and act like what's going on in Texas right now is what you want? Put out of your mind for 1 second, please, that this happens to be a Democrat. Imagine she were a Republican and she were being held and not allowed to leave. She cannot go home overnight. Imagine that were a Republican for me. Think about what you would feel. And I'm pretty sure possibly you might be able to empathize with what is happening to this woman. This is a massive breach of individual liberties. She's an elected representative. She was there to do her job, and she's not being allowed to leave now. Not because she did something illegal. Not because she's under arrest. No, because she refused to sign something that she felt unfairly impeded her personal, individual liberties. So now they won't let her go home. If not authoritarian, why directly out of authoritarian playbook? Please pay attention. Please understand that this is beyond out of control. Oh, by the way, this is a black woman that's being held hostage as well. Just thought you should remember that part too. I can't believe this.
Texas Republicans just did what? Oh, no big deal. They just locked and illegally imprisoned a Democrat lawmaker on the House floor of their fucking Capitol and refused to let her leave, locked the doors because she wouldn't sign a fucking permission slip to have the police escort and follow her. What the fuck? Guys, being alive in 2025 is fucking exhausting. Fuck.